Hi, Dr. Heidi Grant here with another episode of 3 Things to Do. Today's kind of a fun topic. It's how to have big ideas. A lot of us are under pressure to come up with really creative and innovative solutions to the problems that we face in work and in our personal lives. There's no secret recipe really to coming up with a really great, bold new idea, but we do actually know a lot about the conditions that give rise to big ideas, the kind of state your brain needs to be in to have those amazing aha moments. And if you think about it, you probably can notice a pattern about when you've had your best ideas. A lot of people talk about having their best ideas in the shower. Maybe for you, it's when you go on a run or a long walk, or when you're driving home in your car. Today, I'm going to give you 3 science-based tips to help create those conditions that give rise to our best and brightest ideas. The first is to know your own rhythms. Some of us are morning people. Some of us are night people. Each of us has times of day when we are at our best mentally. For many people, it's sort of early in the morning, but if you're not a morning person, that's not going to be the time for you. The key is to start observing yourself a bit and thinking about when it is that you feel the most alert, the most awake, when you feel sharp mentally. That's going to be the best possible time to set aside for having some big ideas. The second thing you can do to give rise to big ideas is make sure you don't drain your brain before this happens. Whenever we're engaging in a lot of difficult thinking, or we are making a ton of decisions, or we're engaging in a lot of self-regulation, self-control, that kind of drains the tank mentally. We start to feel exhausted. And when you start to feel exhausted, you aren't going to be coming up with new, fresh ideas. You're going to do what brains do, which is revert back to our old habits of thinking, to kind of rely on the solutions of the past. So you have to make sure your brain isn't just sort of alert because it's your best time of day, but also that it is fresh, that it isn't already exhausted by everything else you've already done. And the third thing you need to do to have really big ideas is to protect your space and time for wandering. Usually, those aha moments don't come from thinking really hard in a focused way about a problem. They come from allowing our minds to wander a bit. Because when that happens, we're able to pick up on some of the subtle signals that are percolating up from the less conscious parts of the brain. And that's when suddenly we'll have that moment where we realize what the best solution is. But that requires allowing the mind to be quiet, to be focused inward, and to kind of meander around a bit until the solution occurs. So you need to set aside time and space, make sure there's no distractions, make sure nobody's going to come in and ask you for anything, and create that little bubble around yourself so that your mind can freely wander and the best ideas can occur to you. So let's go over those 3 things to do to have big ideas one more time. The first is know your own rhythm. Start paying attention to what time of day feels best for you mentally. That's the time for your big ideas. Second, don't drain your brain. If you've done too much hard mental labor already, you're not going to have much gas in the tank left over for that big idea. And finally, protect your space and time for wandering. Make sure that you give yourself a little bit of time to allow your mind to float freely over the problem so that you can come up with something that's really amazing, your best mental thinking going forward. Thanks again for tuning into 3 Things to Do today. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to have a lot of special content that's just for subscribers coming in the near future, so you won't find out about it unless you subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next week.